Time to welcome back to the studio, State Representative Dixon McMakin, the new voice of Tiger Stadium. How's that? How are you? How are you this morning?
Hey, we're doing great. We're 4-0 in Tiger Stadium, so as long as the team keeps playing at home, I like our chances. Let's just play every game at home. But, Brian, I got to tell you something before we begin. I was driving up here listening to you. My mama is from Memphis, and so us Memphinites take great offense you calling Elvis the worst performer in history. Is that what he said?
Not what I said.
I couldn't quite hear you.
I said he was a terrible actor.
Terrible actor. So if he's a terrible actor, if that's the standard we have, a young man grew up in poverty in Tupelo, moves to Memphis, his dad goes to jail. If he's terrible, then you're terrible. I'm just letting you know.
I am a terrible actor.
We've had 47 presidents of this country, Brian. One king. Elvis Aaron Presley. There we go. Let's get back to business.
Are the No Kings protests about Elvis?
Yeah, no shot.
Okay, I will say this definitively. The greatest stage performer in the history of ever. I'm a huge Elvis fan. Do not get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. But Elvis on stage versus Elvis on screen, completely different things.
That's kind of what Jailhouse Rock was. It was just him on screen doing the performance. Let's go back to business. Sorry about that. TCB, taking care of business, baby.
Yes. We've got a lot of ground to cover on that front. Actually, there's one more thing. I need to apologize to you. I went to my first Catholic high football game. And it was not good for Catholic. I went to homecoming.
Yeah.
First of all, what are y'all doing scheduling a really good team for homecoming?
Well, I mean, we're going to make the playoffs, so pre-district schedule, we want to get as much tough competition as we can to prepare the Bears for success November and December. So that's what we're doing. Tonight, district play at Central.
Okay.
Our former head coach, David Semino Jr., brought us a state title. He's won a state title at Central now as well, so it'll be a great battle up in Central.
Okay.
Wade Evans, I got to call Mayor Wade Evans and see what the bet's going to be.
He's
probably Piccadilly or something. I don't know.
Not saying the selection's limited, are you?
No.
Anyway, no. The Catholic looked good. It just didn't pan out on homecoming.
Yeah, tough play. We ran a 2-point conversion to win the game there. Didn't quite work it out, but we were there. And hey, you played tough competition. You get better as you go, and we're excited for tonight.
All right, moving forward, October 23rd, special session being called in. Way too early to start talking about what bills are going to be filed, but we know what they're going to be about.
Yeah, absolutely. So the governor called us in. We knew this would happen. We just had Louisiana v. Calais at the Supreme Court, a 2.5-hour. I know you've talked about a lot of guests, but as a lawyer myself, a 2.5-hour hearing on a rehearing at the U.S. Supreme Court is so rare. I don't think people realize how rare that is. So we are expecting as a state, as a legislature, them to come in, make some changes. There was some thought, hey, let's come in, let's redraw the map with maybe some conditions. But I think everyone realized that's probably not the best route to do because we don't quite know what's going to happen. But we are talking about let's push the dates back. Let's give us more time. So hopefully the Supreme Court can rule. We know what they're going to rule on. I have a lot of great mentors at the Capitol, and Bo Boye, I'm on House and Governmental. I think he will be one of the people leading the charge of this as he runs the group that handles these bills. Mm-hmm. So I think between him, Big, Daryl, all my mentors and great people up there, there's going to be a plethora of ideas, but it's really going to be very simple. Move the dates back, have an appropriations bill to pay for it if needed. We already have the money for the election. We're just pushing it back, so shouldn't need too much, but that's the plan, and then come back potentially in another special or in the beginning of the regular, do it as well.
So is the plan now to just not even look at the map right now? I mean, it's because until you know definitively from the Supreme Court what the directive is, there would be no use in trying to entertain, you can't pass something contingent, right? You can't say, we're going to adopt this map contingent upon the Supreme Court's verbiage.
Well, not exactly like that, but you can pass a map with contingencies if you want. If certain rulings happen and things are said, you can do it. It would just be very lengthy to do it that way.
Yeah.
And all the ideas that want to go in there, the debate on all that when you don't quite know.
Mm-hmm.
So we think collectively, a leadership group, that it's better to go in, move the dates back, give us more time. Hopefully the Supreme Court will rule. They've already heard this case. They heard it in March.
Right.
So you got to think they hopefully have already written some of their briefs, some of their rulings, and know how the vote's going to go down.
Now, let's talk about the need to move the dates back because it is going to be contingent upon a new map. I mean, if you're moving the dates back and going to have the same map, then what was the point?
The point, if you do that, is to at least give you an opportunity to change something if needed. That's the point.
Yeah.
And then we also, we gave ourselves a long runway there when we originally set those dates.
Oh, yeah.
So to even have room to move, that you kind of put that in place already, thinking you might have to change. This is the first time going back to closed primaries. So we knew we might want some time and things like that. So now we put the time in there. Now we're going to use it. And I think for the better, we need to get out there as legislators, as the governor getting out there, Attorney General, Secretary of State, get out there and educate people of what's happening, why we're doing it, because it will be a little different when you go to the polls in 2026.
Wait, different meaning with the closed primary?
With the closed primary, it will be a little different.
Well, and a big part of the closed primary was to create distance between the general election. When we had the jungle primary and everybody was on the ballot at the same time, there was a feeling that those that lost could be sore for a little while and not get on board to help up their own party in the runoff. You create that distance with the closed primary, not to mention get your best candidate from your party, as you know, that's obviously job number one. But to create that distance right there, because time heals all wounds. By pushing back closed primaries, are we running the risk of opening up those wounds?
We're still going to be further away than we would have been in our jungle primaries. I think that'll be okay, but that's a great point, right? When you have the candidates, you take a beating. If you've never been through politics, you take a beating out there on the campaign trail, and you do need time to heal. You do need time to forgive, even if you're not the one doing it or your opponent's not the one doing it. You almost assume that it is coming from their camp. Believe me, been in that boat, know what it's like. But you got to get over that and get back to what's best for your district, your area, and the state.
And it's very easy to sit on the sidelines and say just toughen up. But when you're the one in the crosshair, the rhetorical crosshairs, then it does change things a great deal. Are there any other ideas being floated right now for this? I know it was called yesterday, but are there any other ideas being floated right now for things that we want to tweak?
Yeah, you saw in the call it was just one item. Right. And I think specifically the governor did that on previous calls. He had a very broad call with lots of agenda items, and you saw a lot of bills come in. You have to be germane to the call. And that was one of the reasons he did. It's a one-page call. That's it. It's one page, and the dates are there to set up if we don't suspend any rules. That's how long it takes to get a normal bill through the process. It takes that many days with all the notices and the layovers and things like that. So without a suspension, it's a singular call, and I think it'll be I'm hopeful for hopefully only two bills that we do. Obviously, the date bill and the appropriations bill. We will see, though, if they want to add some more, but as of now, that's the plan.
You say it's one page, but with the letterhead and the giant J in his signature, it's really like a third of a page.
Yeah, it's kind of like people when you used to increase the size of your periods in class to get a little more pages out of your essays you needed and things like that.
That's why we double spaced, to be sure. We had State Representative Dixon McMakin in with us. If we could, take a couple minutes to look ahead. I love getting a sneak preview for what big ideas are out there for next year. Not specific bill-wise. I mean, we don't start to see that until really till after Washington Mardi Gras when it starts to come together. But big ideas for next year. What's the thinking at the end of the legislative session till about now for maybe things we didn't get done, maybe things we need to tackle?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's always a lot of gobbledygook out there when it comes to bills and bills ideas after session and before sessions. I think one thing you're going to continue to see us go back to, obviously big ones, tort reform and tax reform. Yeah. I mean, that's the ones. We've put bills in place. Was at a great event last night with Senator Franklin Foyle. We were talking about the session. And a lot of the people there were asking us, well, how do we know? Is it working? What's going on? We say, well, look, we just did the session. The bills got in. They're filed. And usually they start either on the governor's signature right then and there, or August 1st is when a lot start. Even more start January 1st.
Right.
So you need to let those bills hit, find the data, and develop, and then go back and look at it. Of course, we had a great tax session last year. The citizens voted down a lot of those measures. We were still able to get some of them through.
Right.
But, we are down to a 3% rate right now, which is lowest amongst states in the South that have a rate, right?
Yeah.
We still want to get to zero.
Well,
there's a goal to get to zero, and it takes time to develop those. We just saw the joint budget Thursday, talked about how we have $577 million extra dollars now. So we know that the collections are coming in. We got to spend that money in a certain way. Let's pay off more debt. Let's free up some money in the future. If we do enough of that, maybe we continue to lower that rate as well for a lot of people.
So is the want to continue on the path towards no income tax that soon? Is it? I mean, are we? Because I thought it was like Mississippi's taking longer to do it. They're stretching things out a good bit. Is the want to get it done quicker and pass them up?
I mean, I had a bill last year that said it would have been done in 2040.
Right.
And we would have taken out 20 basis points a year for 15 years, and we're done.
Right.
Couldn't even get a hearing on that one. But I thought that was a great plan because people can plan. That's why I thought, and I'll bring that bill back next 2027. I'll bring that bill back. You only do it in fiscal sessions. But no, the want is there. We see the competition. I was just in Houston on Tuesday talking to some business owners and leaders over there in Houston for my firm, of course, not on a political trip per se, but they talk about that. They talk about the perception of when you move to Texas, you just know you're not going to have it. Are you hitting on it on other places? Of course you are. But you have that feeling of the zero. And that's where we think a lot of people would come to Louisiana, bring their business here, develop here, and then more taxes come in as well if we can have them that feeling. So the want is there, the desire is there. And we see, look, it's a whale of an idea to get across the line. But we hope that with the leadership we have, or Governor Landry and all the Speaker DeVilliers, Cameron Henry, all that group we have, Julie Emerson, I know, been on your show. She does a great job with the tax stuff as well. We'll try to get there. I know I'm in. I'm a yes vote. Anytime we can lower it, I'll be ready to go.
Looking forward to October 23rd. You mentioned it's going to take the full time just to get one or two things done.
If we don't suspend the rules, it will be. We can suspend some of the rules for the layover time. So I think normally in the House, we do that all the time, where you don't have to wait 3 days just to, it sits there on a desk, really is kind of theoretically what it does. We can suspend that, take some days off. So Thursday we come in. I would think by the following Friday, we should have it wrapped up.
He is State Representative Dixon McMakin. Thank you so much for a couple minutes.
Appreciate you, Brian.